all the way through 2 o'clock. Now, just before the news there, having a fascinating conversation with Mutabeel, who in the early 90s founded a group called the Outlaws together with Tupac Shakur. We've been talking a lot of hip-hop. Welcome back to the show, Muta. You mentioned that you embraced Islam, and that, I'm sure, changed everything from the background in the world of hip-hop. What made you make that decision? Had you become disillusioned a little bit with the music business?
Of course, not just with the music business, but the lifestyle that comes with it. I just started to feel empty. I felt like I was going in circles. I wasn't happy, even though I was successful. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to feel that inner peace, And when I read about the religion of Islam, both of my mother and father, my parents converted to Islam before I was born. But then I was raised with my Christian grandparents after the death of my parents. So I decided to go back and read about Islam after American Muslim gave me some literature. And I just felt like this is what I needed in my life. This is where I would find my peace.
Yeah. So a new direction then for you. So how did it all kind of pan out? How did it all, change your life?
It changed me from one of the first things that I had to change was my lifestyle. I was a heavy drinker, which in return I turned violent. I was a very violent individual. So when I walked away from that, I started to try to realize that I need to, live a healthy lifestyle, pay attention to my health as well, mentally and physically. And, I was able to just, change my environment. Eventually, I've been living in Saudi Arabia for 11 years now.
Yeah.
So
it's funny.
It saved my life.
You don't strike me as a violent guy at all. You seem the most gentle guy on the planet. So that journey to Saudi Arabia, how did that come about?
I decided to come to Saudi Arabia after, when I first became Muslim. 3 months later, I did the Hajj pilgrimage. Yeah. And I was intrigued by the culture of, the Middle East, the hospitality of the people. And I started coming back and forth. Yeah. My in-laws are from Abu Dhabi. My wife's family is in Emirati, matter of fact. Yes. Oh, wow. So I was able to go to Dubai, go to Abu Dhabi. And I was just intrigued by the lifestyle over here, the culture of the people. And I decided to move here. And 11 years ago, I was able to come to Saudi Arabia, and I love it. I'm happy here. Yeah. As you can see, I'm in my coffee shop. I have a coffee shop.
That was my next question. It's from hip hop to coffee. It's quite a jump, isn't it? Tell me about your specialty coffee shop that you've got.
So we have a specialty coffee shop called MW Cafe. Me and my partner Mansour. He's from Saudi Arabia. And we've been open for about a year and a half now. The COVID came. We opened up a few months after the COVID. But we just focus on giving people high quality coffee, and also with an environment that the people come and they feel like, whether it's a work atmosphere, whether they have meetings or just want to chill with their friends, we get a multi-cultural crowd, people from London, UK, America, Africa, Saudi Arabia. So it's a mixed environment. And, we love it. We give people the good coffee, and in return we get the good companionship from the people.
If we come over there, what's your best coffee flavor? What would you recommend?
Well, we switch up. Now we have coffee from Jamaica. We have the Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, Yemen coffee. Yeah. Coffee from Yemen is for us, it's hard to get these days. We also have Colombian coffee from a good friend of mine, Gustavo from Colombia. He's been living in Saudi Arabia doing coffee roasting for 20 years. Also Panama Geisha. So you got to come. I'm going to hold you on that, Lloyd. You got to come check us out.
I would love to. I mean, have you completely turned your back on music and hip-hop? Do you listen to any of the artists that are around today and think, oh, yeah, he's pretty good? Or, or have you completely shut that out?
I don't listen to music, but I'm still up to date with what's going on. Yeah. As I said, I write poetry now, and without musical instruments, and I'm looking forward to do more poetry. I actually have 2 poetry videos that I dropped on my YouTube channel, and I'm soon going to get back into poetry, just writing. So I pay attention. Sometimes I read lyrics. You can go, they have websites now where you can just go read the lyrics, of artists and stuff like that. So I like to stay in tune from a distance, from afar, but I pay attention. You know what I mean? The music industry is not the same. I'm talking about from friends that's telling me it's not like, I think in the 90s, and not to knock anyone in the music industry now, but in the 90s, we really try to put a message out. You know, we really try to put a message out. We wasn't really highlighting just, you know, empty subjects. We really tried to say, this is what's happening in our communities. We was trying to be the voice of our communities. And from what I'm listening, from what I'm hearing and from my friends is that, and listening to people that's telling me, that's no longer in the music industry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know?
If Tupac, you know, if you could have another conversation today, do you think he'd be proud of what you've achieved, Muhtar? What do you think he would say to you if you know, you could have one last conversation?
I think Pac would be very happy, you know, to see that I'm trying to live my life in a positive manner right now and raise my kids. And I know Pac, he would be very supportive. He would be very happy. He probably would be surprised because, you know, from the Muhtar he know to where I'm at now, he would definitely be proud of me, I believe.
Just how talented was he? I don't know how good he was. I mean, you were right there, growing up throughout this era. Just how talented was Tupac Shakur?
Pac was, you know, to be honest, he was a genius when it comes to poetry and when it comes to writing. And a lot of these things I didn't really realize until after he was gone, you know, because Pac, for example, he'd go into the studio and one day do about 5 songs, 3 to 5 songs. And I didn't realize till, you know, when he passed on and I started seeing interviews of other artists and they like, sometime it would take them 2 or 3 days to do one song. We thought this was the norm because it was Tupac, but he was ahead of his time. And the songs that he done, they wasn't pre-written. You know, he do it on the spot, put up the next track, next song. He was going to get very, he was heading towards the acting career more seriously. I think he would have been our first Will Smith or our first Mark Wahlberg as far as hip hop artists going into acting. Pac was ahead of his time when it came to these things, you know. And he also said he wanted to get into politics. So who knows?
the sky's the limit. Finally, if people want to follow you, Muhtar, and read up on your poetry that you're writing, is there somewhere that we can go and keep up to date with you?
Yes, they can follow me on Instagram, Muhtar Bill, which is my name, and also my YouTube channel, Muhtar Bill TV. They can check out some of my poetry, some of my videos that I post on there. They can find me on Twitter, Muhtar Napoleon. Yeah,
it's been an absolute honour to have you on our radio station. Fascinating conversation about those heady days of hip-hop and the fact that you've really found peace with your life and your family. Once again, that's Muhtar Bill joining us on Lunch with Lloyd. It's coming up now to 18 minutes away from the hour of 2 o'clock. We've got